Welcome to our first Wasamata TV episode. This program will be dedicated to discussing all the topics that you really care about. Today, we will start with the student loan crisis. Why, you might say? I thought you'd never ask. Well, I intend to pay my student loans with the income this channel will generate. So let's jump right in, but not before asking you to smash that like and subscribe button. Today's topic is the student loan crisis. Yes, those funds that millions of students around the country receive to make sure they can attain a higher education. And even though we all know that a higher degree is not for everyone, and there are other ways to make a living without attaining a college degree, that is not today's topic. Do you remember this commercial?
I get angry just thinking about it makes me mad. Little kids doing drugs, it turns my stomach. That stuff hurts. It stops you from living up to your potential. It holds you back. It hurts the user. It hurts his family. And it hurts his friends. I just want to shake some sense into you kids that are using drugs and thinking about using it. So remember, don't, or else. Okay?
Yes, I know. That commercial is about drugs. What does that have to do with anything, you might say? I thought you'd never ask. By the time we recorded this video, Americans owe nearly $1.75 trillion dollars in student loans, all spread out among about 46 million borrowers. This is about 440 billion more than the total US auto loan debt, according to studentloanzero.com. Keep in mind that the main reason why student loans exist in the first place is to facilitate higher education to families of individuals with limited income. The dream is to attain education to increase the quality of their life, which might include a better understanding of how things work, career proficiency, a better job, social status, and of course, a higher income. So, what is the problem, you might say? I thought you never asked. The average higher education bachelor degree might cost between 20,000 to 200,000 according to the US Department of Education. Tuition has increased, outpacing the income of the average American family. In other words, either the students with higher education are not making more money, or the education system has allowed money hungry corporations to take over. If we're going to run our educational system just like any other business, then profit will be within top priorities. And most of the time, that will come at the expense of the quality of the service. In this case, education. Keep in mind that we're not saying that every university will sacrifice quality over profits, but at least it will set the standards like Mr. T's cheap breakfast meal class. And that right there is a major problem. The educational system should be the platform where people can improve their skills to adapt to the economical system of their society. Some of you might even debate that the educational system is just an extension of the corporate structure to train individuals to produce for such corporations, and I might even agree with you to a certain extent. But what do you do when the outcome of the actual system is not benefiting the individuals nor those institutions that intend to capitalize from it? When I was a kid, the options were very polarized. Don't do drugs and go to school. Because if anyone develops an addiction to drugs, they might be at risk of increasing their debt amount, losing their credit, filing for bankruptcy, and even losing their loved ones. Not to mention the mental and physical health issues, of course. It can be a real long term headache for anyone. Now, as an adult, I realize that the probabilities of you taking any kind of drug is very high if we consider the ones prescribed by the doctors as you get older, or the ones that you're currently being taken for health conditions. You know, the ones that we buy at the pharmacy. So, drugs can help if they are controlled and prescribed properly. Why don't we address the student loan crisis in the same way we address any or all drug related crises? Isn't it true that your credit is at risk with student loans? It becomes harder, and I mean really hard, to purchase a property with student loans. Bankruptcy is not an option for you if you have student loans. And if you don't get a job, that career that you were working so hard to get, you might even lose your loved ones with student loans. Not to mention, of course, the mental and physical health. I am pretty sure that we can fund public universities to continue providing a higher level of education at an affordable cost and also educate students on how to manage those loans. But wait, are we doing that already? So, what's the problem then, you might say? But you never asked. Why don't we just take all the drugs we want right now if there's a pretty good chance that the outcome might be the same? I like that the current administration is taking action by looking at the root of the problem. They're in the process of implementing significant new federal loan forgiveness initiative, and I mean changes. Because usually, when politicians are pressed with real issues that affect their constituents, their answer is always the same. They just bring the current law, change the name, move around a couple of words, and launch it, approve it, and promote it like they were the ones that provided a solution. When in fact, what they just did was relabel a current law. The only concern with today's approach is that whatever Congress presents to address the issue might not be enough to solve the crisis. We don't need to mitigate or control the damage. We need to get rid of the problem once and for all. Keep in mind that we are not trying to present ourselves as the solution providers of this critical situation. That might be a little presumptuous. We just want to share a few practical points that you can start implementing right now. For example, avoid student loans debt, enroll in public universities and community colleges, actively look for grants and scholarships at all times. If you want to get a student loan, then consider any of the programs provided by the government to receive waivers. And please pay them as soon as you can to avoid further damage or harm. Also, make sure you go over the options that are being proposed by Congress and call your representative to press them in this matter. Just make sure they do their job. Remember that we cannot make content without you. So go smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to share any topic that you would like us to discuss. Thank you for watching and just chill until the next episode.